Hey guys, we're doing a secret visit to a 4x4 diesel workshop partner with this couple of nice 1KD engines there. Whoa, Prado, nice. What's happening here? Okay, nice. Oh, that looks pretty decent. Doors open around here. I think we go around the other way. Here he's hiding. What's happening in here? Good morning.
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Hello everyone.
Good, what's happening here? Oh, what's happening? Got the seats out, got the carpet up. This seems a bit silly, you know? You think they'd put a little inspection area in to lift the carpet, you know, because the seats fold up. The flap in the carpet would be wise, you know? And who are we to be the engineers and cut a hole in the carpet so it's easy to access next time? Okay, so you've got the battery there. What's happening with the battery?
Customer reported that he's having fuel transfer problem. We've had other vehicles in the past which are doing the same as well. We are just testing the in-tank fuel pump to see if it's operational, and it is. So the next stage is, because the customer couldn't get rid of a lot of the fuel, we have to drain the tank. It's got about 140 150 litres in there.
Oh yes, okay, I'll have to bring my vehicle in. I've got funnily enough, I've got a storage tank in it that we can use to store the fuel. But I've got a funny feeling the labour to get it back out again would cost more than the fuel, so you might as well leave it there. It's a one-way storage tank. You might have one of those yourself. I think you've got some Prados and Hiluxes here too.
That's right.
Yeah, always best to run those tanks down. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the customer, because of the COVID situation, he's very restricted. So nothing we can do but accommodate him in this regard and drain the tank.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
So the pump's running, you got to drain the tank next, so it's ready to go up on the hoist, is it?
Yes.
All right, let's get it up in the air and have a look, see what's happening. So the car's up on the hoist, there's one bolt at the back, 1, 2, 3, to get this fuel tank going. There. Another one up there, you got to get this guard off first, and then it's a bada bing. All right, this is what it looks like when that fuel tank guard's off. Bada bing, right. Plastic tank, guys. And notice the covers, they do rub on here a little bit. That's why it's important if it gets damaged, you take it off and bash the dents out. You don't want hard dents rubbing into plastic tanks. Right, what's next? What are we going to do? How do we get this tank out? What about all the fuel? Is all the fuel still in there? Oh no.
It is. So we're going to set up the transmission jack to support the tank. We're going to disconnect the holding straps and a few out of the hose line. We'll bring it down to low enough to access the hose. And then we're going to energize the pump in there, and we're going to drain the tank out.
Roger that. Get on with it. So you've got the transmission jack there, very nice, holding the fuel tank, the weight of the fuel tank because it's full of fuel. As you disconnect the straps and a few things to lower the tank down. Bada bing. Okay, so you've got the pump energized and the fuel coming out of the tank through the filter down into the container. Beautiful. Okay, so while the fuel's transferring out, one strap off the fuel tank, the other one obviously loose and about to come off. Bada bing. Right, so got the rear fuel tank guard off as well, because if this has got a fuel transfer problem, it's not all going to transfer and come out the front, and therefore you need to use this drain plug. This little bit of information is handy if you do travel the outback and have this problem. You will need to take fuel from here and add it to your filler, which will mainly go into the front tank if you have this problem, so you can get mobile again. See, there's your tech tip that was absolutely, is that valuable or invaluable? But anyway, there it is. There's that plug. So be equipped. Have a think about that. You might want to carry something that can catch the fuel. I know it makes things hard, but I'm sure you'll make a way. Or somebody driving past you can wave down might have something, but keep that in mind. Bada bing. All right, so it seems like the fuel's almost running out in this front tank. What's happening there?
We're seeing inconsistent flow. It's not flowing consistently like that. See that? So further investigation with the Venturi system to find out what's going on.
Bing. Okay, so we had a bit of an issue where the pump kept stopping and starting, and now it's come to a stop, and it's not the battery.
Venturi system, highly likely, has got some debris in there that's blocking it.
I just thought I'd wait for a minute and see if the pump starts again, but it doesn't look like it's going to start again. Yeah, drain the rear tank from the hole and drop it all out then, eh?
That's it.
Okay guys, just getting the last bit of bada bing fuel out of that rear tank. Well, I'm not sure how much of the last bit it is. Got a suspicion there's an issue with the breather system perhaps as well. So it's going to need a bit of investigation. Hang on, maybe that's about to run out. Let's see something. Ding dong, come in. I'll let you know if anything exciting happens. Yeah, big job getting the tanks out, checking everything out. This is quite a few hours later. In my opinion, that fuel filler hose on every 120 should already be changed. It's a sign of someone that's not subscribed and not watching all the videos and not on the Facebook groups gathering all the information. You could find yourself on a trip with quite a massive fuel leak, making quite a bit of mess. Not as dangerous as unleaded. The unleaded ones, imperative that these are changed. For the sake of the $80 or $90 I think they are, I'd be changing the Petron every 5 to 7 years, and the diesel probably about every 10 years. 120 Prado. 150s, no leaks yet, I'll let you know. Subscribe, bell on. Okay, so we've got the sender unit assembly. Okay, well, we call it this. It's not just the sender unit. The sender unit's on the side there, but you know, it's got the whole assembly. I call it the sender unit assembly, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, what are we going to do? What do we got? What's the scenario here?
So, there are 3 clips which holds it together. 1, 2, 3. Really difficult to...
Well, you need to be an octopus?
Literally. The trick we have, there are many. This is our preferred version. Pull up a little bit, shove something in there, and just to hold it so it doesn't slide backwards and work yourself around. And then eventually, you can pull it out, you can release that. Alright, disconnect that. Disconnect the one on the inside here, that's the fuel pump there. The other one was the sender unit. And don't spray yourself with fuel.
Everywhere, yep.
And you gotta have a feel of this.
Slowly, that's it.
Yeah.
If anything's restricting, holding it back, find out what it is and why, and release that also.
That's right. So you just got
plenty of wires and tubes and things going on. Bit of a fiddly job, but just got to take your time.
So pause it for a second.
Alright, sorry guys, you just had to fluff for a sec. Pretty dirty in here. Look at that. They're not always like that, are they? No, I haven't. No.
This one's a bit more.
Yeah.
And the last one we did.
Quite dirty around here as well. A bit average. Bit of filthy looking crud. Let's have a look at that bottom of that pickup. What do you reckon? What's sitting on there? How many have you seen? Is this the worst you've seen?
Worst one, yes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's quite. That looks like. Yeah, that's yuck. There you go. Okay, this whole thing's a little bit dirty. Okay, this is our sucker that may have some sort of issue going on, eh? Let's get into that and see what's going on. There it is, a bit of quilting. Trying to find something big enough that would cause problems, and it only takes something very small.
That
Debris could be something like that, yeah. But there's no guarantee, you know what I mean? And with something this dirty and this old, out of a 120, I'm actually thinking it would be wise to just replace this whole assembly. You know, when you've got 10 to 15 years out of it, to all the efforts, all the work that's been gone to, probably wise to just change the whole assembly over. And that when you consider that they talk about replacing this transfer pump that's in here at 150,000 Ks, we don't agree with that because we don't see a lot of problems. But the fact that there's an issue and it's all out, it would make sense to replace that. But then for the extra, you might as well replace the whole unit. That way you get your sender units covered back to new again, pump covered, all components, everything clean and new. You know what I mean? With a lot less labour time. So anyway guys, that'll be it for this video. We'll let you know if we find something specific, but we haven't as yet with this one. And obviously we're going to talk to the customer, see what they want to do, whether it's a clean, inspect, keep looking, look for other problems, or replace this whole unit. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, remember, subscribe, turn that bell on. We've got more important information coming your way. And if you got something out of this, please give us the thumbs up. And I noticed on one of the comments someone said, oh, you've damaged your thumbs. Look, you know, the band-aids are off, but see the splits at the side there? This one's the good one, my other hand's the bad one. I've got a split right on the end of my thumb. It comes across here. As soon as you touch something, it's a killer. So that was the problem with the band-aids. Anyway guys, bada boom, bada bing, we're out of here. Hope you got something out of all that information. Alright, and just when you thought we were done, see these little bits? That's all it takes. It's quite dirty in there. There's quite a few bits and pieces that can go in and out of that, blocking that up. So, yeah, bada bing.